Hey guys, how's it going? It's Darren Steniford here doing my Apollo 11 tribute on Kerbal Space Program. And without further ado, here you go. I'm gonna light this candlestick, launch the Saturn V, and try to give you guys a commentary on the whole thing while I sort of do it. So if you're not used to Kerbal Space Program, this is basically a simulation space game. You get to build all your own rockets and launch them into space and what have you. And it's probably one of my favorite games. So what I'm doing here, as you can see on the circle at the bottom, this blue circle, as the rocket's sort of going up, I'm trying to move it to 90 degrees or to the east. And what that does, it's going to put us into more or less an orbit, because you can't go straight up, and you can't, because you'll just come straight back down to Kerbin, or what Kerbin would be is Earth, I guess. But and you can see on the side we got all these Kerbins on the side, on your right hand side of the screen. These are the inhabitants of Kerbal, and yeah. So as you can see, I'm just slowly moving the rocket more and more over, trying to get it into orbit. And the reason why we go east instead of west is because it actually takes more delta V, or more thrust, to go west, because you're fighting the planet compared to sort of going with it, if that sort of makes sense, and the way everything sort of spins. So there goes our first stage. Now those were the F1 engines. Now we're left with the 5 J2 engines as we approach 37,000 feet. Pretty soon, you can see we're almost out of the atmosphere. I have it sped up, by the way. So I'm just checking my apoapsis, or apogee. And that's your highest point in orbit. So what I'll be doing is trying to circularize the orbit. So see, if we go straight up, we'll just come straight back down, because you won't get a periapsis. And what I mean by periapsis is your lowest point in your orbit. So here we go. I think I bring it to somewhere around 1,000 meters, or 100,000 meters. That'd be a good number, or 90,000. So 70,000, we're going to make it to space. We're going to make it to a suborbital orbit, but we want to get our full orbit here. So look at those. There you go. The J2 engines of the Saturn V. So this is my version of it. I tried to make it as accurate as possible. Obviously, there's some things I couldn't do. I had to just sort of mix it up while I was sort of in the game. Like, I couldn't name it Neil Armstrong or Michael Collins or Buzz Aldrin. I had to use the Kerbins that I could. So yeah, we're getting close to our apoapsis, which is 77. And we're just still at 100% throttle. If you look down at the bottom there. There we go, and then I just click prograde. So prograde means the rocket is now facing the direction that you're actually traveling. So that's what that ball is for at the bottom. It's sort of like a navigation ball. And you can sort of figure out where your rocket's heading using that. So I turned off all the fuel there. Stage, to our third stage. Look at that. And there we go. We have almost circularized. So 7,000 is my periapsis. We're going to try and bring that up to 90,000. So we're going to warp over to our apoapsis, which is our highest point in orbit. Traveling 2,100 meters per second in orbit, finally. And pretty soon, so you can see T minus 41 seconds till we hit our apoapsis. And the most fuel efficient way to do it is to sort of burn at our apoapsis. But we can't really do that. So we pass it, and we're going to bring our periapsis by hitting full throttle in prograde. There we go. 112. So it's not actually circular. I don't know why I didn't do it better, but anyways. So target the moon, or mun, that's what they call it in the game. And so what they do in the Apollo program is they knew that if you approach the planet on the backside, sort of, it's going to slingshot you. You're going to gain speed from the moon. So yeah, as you can see, you can't just head straight to the moon. You got to sort of go where the moon's going to be. Shoot for where the moon is going to be. And see, like, if we go here, we'll be going onto the backside of the moon. Sure, we'll have an encounter with the gravitational pull of the moon, as you can see there. But this is going to slingshot us. So we'll come out of this orbit with more speed than we want. So what you do is you want to burn all the way to the other side of the moon, just like that. And that'll slow you down. That's called the gravity assist, but to slow you down. So we'll have less meters per second coming around this way than if we do the other way. And the reason why we want to do this is because we have much more fuel in the third stage than we do have on the command module. You want to be as fuel efficient as possible, and this is the best way to sort of do it with orbital mechanics. So we bring our mun periapsis down to 7,000 meters, which is a very, very close approach. And where's our time of interaction? So if you can see on the bottom, right next to my navigation ball, our estimated burn time is about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And our node is in T minus, well, you can see 14 minutes, 13 minutes, but we're time warping all the way. We want to get to about, because that's about a 4-minute burn time. So we want to start burning 2 minutes before. So that way it's 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after, and that'll give us the most accurate burn to where we sort of set the node, if that makes sense with you guys. Yeah, this game's sort of complicated. Sorry if it seems... I just wanted to do a little Apollo 11 tribute, and I have a little Easter egg in here too in this game, but yeah, I definitely recommend playing it. So there we go. We start the burn. We start our translunar trajectory is what NASA calls this orbital maneuver. And we're burn time, you can see as we're full throttle and 730 meters per second left on that bar, left to burn. Node is in 1 minute, so we're actually doing pretty good with the burn. Look at that J2 rocket go as we're in orbit. Yeah, I like this game a lot because it uses a lot of real life orbital mechanics and physics, and you get to build your own rocket ships. And if you know me, I frickin' love rocket ships, right? Who doesn't? Look at this thing. It's too much fun. Too much fun. Poor Jebediah. Poor Valentina. Poor Bill. They're in for a ride. And there's the mun there, or the moon. There is our destination. So we're going to continue this burn for another 1 minute. It's a good thing I have the speed timed up on this. We're actually going twice the speed of what you would regularly do. And then on the left hand side you can see all my other stages. So you see the flip the screen. So we're actually getting really close to finishing our burn here. So we're just stretching out that apoapsis until we have an encounter. And there, we have the encounter. So we'll stop the burn. We'll retarget Mun. Sort of bring it closer. Here we go. So we want to be on the other side of the moon because that'll slow us down. If we're on the other side, if we're on the back side of the moon, we'll speed up. So we want to come in on this angle, not this angle necessarily, but on this side of the moon, like coming into the front face of the direction of the moon is traveling. So that way it slows us down. You can see that arc was much closer in that way. Now's the exciting part. Now we get ready to grab the lunar module. Okay, here we go. So for the lunar module approach, we stage. There we go. And this isn't very accurate. That piece behind my command module that's slowly coming off the bell of my rocket housing, yeah, that wasn't ever in there in the real rocket, but I sort of put it in just because I couldn't figure out another way to sort of make this rocket stable and to properly do this maneuver without it. I know it looks sort of silly there, and that's not how it actually went, but that's just how I did it, okay? You know, I'm trying to do it as accurate as possible, and oh, but look at that, we have connection. So there we go, we connected the command module with the lunar module. And we decouple. Slowly pull away without trying to wreck anything. Use some RCS to get out of there. And there we go. Off to the moon we go. And I tried to use the most accurate rocket nozzle as I could for the command module. So we'll try and really fix our approach here. We'll try and bring it down. Yeah, there we go. Try to get it as close as possible to making it aligned with sort of the horizon of the moon. And then that way we can easily land wherever we want. And when it comes time to redocking with the command module, because the lunar module lands by itself. We're gonna have to detach and go and land, and then we leave the command module in orbit, and then we're gonna launch the lunar module to meet up with the command module in orbit to get back to Earth, or Kerbal in this game. That's what they call it. So right away we start extending our legs. I didn't really need to do this, but I like the way it looks, to be honest with you. I like them with the legs out. It just looks more like the pictures with the legs out. There we go. Look at that. That is our little moon traveler. Off to the moon we go. Translunar trajectory. We're going to warp speed over to there. Over till we have a moon encounter. The mooner, I don't know what you call it. But I tried to, the command module had a big bell housing. I tried to use the most accurate one as possible. I don't know if the numbers and thrust and fuel consumption all match up properly, but I thought, this is good enough. Can't be too particular. I think this is gonna be the most accurate rocket to the Saturn V and Apollo program as you could possibly do in this video game, at least. And the numbers all add up. As you can see, my fuel is all good. So here we go. We're going to try and get into orbit of the moon. And we do this by clicking retrograde. So we move the rocket into retrograde. And we're going to fire. There we go. And it's a very small burn because the gravitational pull of the moon is 1/3 of the Earth's. So It's much easier, much faster, to much less fuel to get around orbit there, and especially because we're going the opposite way. So really try to bring it in here, get as close as possible, so that way we don't have to burn as much when we land on Mun, which we're going to be getting ready to do very soon. So the next clip will be coming up. And here we sort of go. I'm going to be getting ready to land with the... So get into position here. And I want to be landing... Oh, do a little quick save, I guess. We are going to be landing on the Mun. Okay, so undock, switch over to our LM lunar module, go retrograde, I believe. Yeah, retrograde with RCS on, because this thing has no reaction wheels, and then we will start to our landing burn. And this is what they did in the Apollo. This is all I'm trying to sort of show everyone with this video, is how cool it was what they did for the actual moon landing. When they put, I know we're putting Kerbals on the moon, but this is sort of how we landed humans on the moon too. This comes up the fun part. This is where it gets really intense. So we'll start to add a maneuver, really start to figure out our timing, because this is where the Easter egg is. I'm about to show you where there's a little secret spot here on the Mun, and what it is this is where they tried to show where the actual moon landing sort of was. So we're going to the Apollo 11 landing site, and what's there, well, we'll sort of show you when we get there. It's really cool when it comes up though. So there you go, we'll have a huge retrograde burn there. Sort of try to land in that first crater. We're going to have to lose almost 400 meters per second. And for this little engine and this little tiny bit of fuel, it's going to be a huge burn. Look at that, 2-minute burn. We're going to be very low on fuel as we get closer. But even less to try and meet back up with the command module still in orbit there. You saw it with the purple. See the purple on the left hand side of the screen? There's the command module still in orbit, while the lunar module makes its landing. So there you go, there's your command module. Goodbye. And there's Michael Collins, or Jebediah. We left Jebediah on it. He's alone. He's going to do an orbit all by himself. Loneliest Kerbal there ever was. It's funny. Yeah, even this lunar module took me quite some time to build. Just this little piece here. I had to build all these little rockets and put them all together in all their different stages and all this stuff. Saturn V was actually pretty complicated setting up all this sort of stuff. And once again, because it has no reaction wheels, we have to do all our sort of movements with RCS. And that is what they actually did in real life too. So full burn, as you can tell, as our meters per second go down right beside our nav ball there. We are doing it without RCS, surprisingly. Oh, because we're using the engine to sort of guide us. So while the engine's on, we can use its gimbaling abilities to save a little bit of our RCS fuel. And we'll need to save that for redocking with the command module, because you don't have a lot of fuel here. It is quite restrictive of fuel. It makes it fun, makes it hard, makes this mission worth doing. So here we are, we're coming to a very close complete stop. Still have tons of fuel left. As you can see on our left hand side of the screen under stage 1, our liquid fuel. Still have 3/4, so we'll go down to half throttle. I don't know if you can see it on your screen yet, but there is something in that crater. And on the top of the crater, if you can see that the 2 little spots I'm sort of aiming to land for. So we will actually make a quick landing here. We'll get stabilized and then try to make our way up to that spot here. So this is the landing site, the Apollo 11. Here's the Easter egg. I did not put those little pieces on the moon. The game developers did, and I just sort of came across it when doing a lunar scan, because you can do that in this game too. You can scan planets and look for different things. And as you can tell, landing is not easy at all. So RCS on to stabilize as we come in for our hot landing. 20 meters per second. 10 meters per second. So you want to be less than 10 meters per second, or else you're gonna bust shit up. You're gonna break everything. So here we go. Try to bring that circle into the top there. So we don't have much horizontal speed. Try and move it all to vertical speed. Oh, we have horizontal speed. Oh, geez. Oh! Okay. Retrograde. Here we go. Try to re-land again. That was almost bad. Oh, here we go. That was a lot better, though. There we go. Landed on the mun. But this isn't actually where I wanted to take you guys. So I will cut and bring you up onto the top of the hill where I want to take you. So up here, this is finally, with a quick save, that is the monument I wanted to show you guys. Land my lunar module over here. As you can tell, we have much less fuel, but that's okay. Turn off the RCS. Save, of course, because why not? And then I'll show you guys what that monument is all about. There we go. We're going to EVA. We're going to do our moonwalk. Extend the ladder. And here we are walking on the moon. As you can tell, speed is sort of sped up. I have it doubled in speed, or else this video would take 70 minutes to do. Well, here we are. We have RCS. We have little jetpacks to move around faster here. I know they didn't have jetpacks in the actual moon landing, but guess what? That doesn't matter in this case. I just wanted to show you guys this. Very nice tribute to Neil Armstrong. 1930 to 2012, Neil Armstrong, the man on the moon. Yeah, it was very nice of them to do this in the game. Get on top of his monument here and plant a flag for him. Oh, no, we'll do a little surface sample, EV report, get some science. It was too fast to read, but I read it before. Sorry guys, if you want to read it, you can always pause it and read it, or buy the game and play it, you know. So yeah, one small step. We're going to name the flag. And RCS on. Back to our lunar module. That'll be heading back. Now, very shortly, we're gonna climb those steps, climb back in. Board, and there we go. And here we go. So we shut down the engines to make sure that the legs won't come, because the legs won't be coming with us. So fast forward till the command module is nearly overhead. We're going to be catching up to it quick. So we're going to get ready for launch. And here we go. Off to the command module. Here we go. This is a very difficult maneuver here. So we can pretty much, because there's no atmosphere, we can pretty much go 270, right, or west, right off the hop. And you can see our apoapsis climbing, climbing, climbing. We want to make it climb all the way until right about there, right until we hit the orbit of the command module. There we go. We'll set the command module as target, and we will wait until we have apoapsis. Yeah, we will warp. Oh, we can't because we're under 5,000 feet. So we gotta wait till we get to 5,000 meters. Blah, not feet. Everything's in meters in this game. So 5,000 meters, here we go. Now we can warp. Prograde, and we're going to do a burn, and we are going to meet up. Stop! Oh, get close. There we go. See that? Look at our separation. 2 kilometers away. We're going to be very close. Oh, a little retrograde burn. Oh, yeah, there we go. 2.1 kilometers away is going to be our intersection of the command module and lunar module. We will be redocking. Tell you that. So RCS off, because we want to save that. That's RCS. You're using fuel to move around. There's little jets all over the. I've put little thrusters, RCS thrusters, and they sort of mobilize and help you move around in space. And we will switch over to our command module. Take a little bit of loading. And here's our command module. So we'll double check, we'll target our lunar module, our Saturn V lander. And our intersect is still 2.1, so still looking good. We will get ready, we will put it onto target, and we will click retrograde. So with target, we'll wait until it gets 2.1 kilometers away. And we should be throttle up a little bit and bring our target speed down to 0. 0.3. We will head towards our target. Move our prograde marker right so it's heading straight towards the target, just like that, right in the purple circle. So the purple circle is target, and the yellow sort of circle cross is our prograde marker, the direction that the rocket ship is heading. And this yellow V with the dot inside is like the way we're facing. So the prograde marker is the direction we're going, but this yellow V is the way we're facing. So we could be facing any way, and we could be traveling sideways. That's what these markers sort of show us, if that makes sense to you guys. So our target speed, we are heading there quite fast. 12.76, actually we're slowing down. So here we go. We are close to 100 meters away. So we are going to go prograde again, burn all that speed off to 0.2. We're going to click target. And we're going to try and bring our target in. We're using RCS thrusters because they have much less thrust than our boosters. But the thing is, we don't need RCS anymore. And once we connect these two things, we're going to have tons of leftover RCS. So here we go. It's coming in. It's very close. There we go. Meeting up. Set the docking port as target. We're going to go ready to RCS. Go right to our target. Bring our prograde there. And it should connect, and we have connection. There we go. We have successfully brought the lunar module to the command module. We are going to transfer our crew over to the command module. And we are going to transfer fuel inside our service module. That's what the backstage is. And because I didn't do it quite properly, we have to transfer fuel and what have you, and yeah, sort of move things around, and anyways. So now we're going to burn back to Kerbin. And best way to do this is to go against the planet, or against the moon. So we are going to make our maneuver on the opposite side, right there. So that way, we go away from the moon, and that way it's going to pull us right back pretty much to Kerbin. So we'll just finesse it a little bit, make our periapsis to Kerbin very small. And then once we get out there, we'll just do a little retrograde burn. And that'll pretty much bring our apoapsis right into the atmosphere, Kerbin. And we should have a safe landing. And that looks good. So let's warp. So there's our exit trajectory, that yellow line back to Kerbin. We haven't done the burn yet, so you can see our maneuver on the right. So the estimated burn time is 2 seconds, 2-second burn time. And the node is in 5 minutes. So we are going to want to time warp very close. Less than a minute. Yeah, we're going to speed up, time warp. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10 seconds. There we go. We'll start the burn now. It doesn't have to be too accurate here. Get our escape. Cancel the maneuver. And there we go. Back to Kerbin. But before that, we'll get rid of our extra weight here. Undock. Goodbye, lunar module. That was fun. And that is how it rolls. This is how you do it. Time warp out. And the second we leave the influence of the moon, we will be in the influence of Kerbal. So we'll instantly just do a retrograde burn. So we'll time warp right to our exit. Get ready with our prograde, or retrograde, sorry. And retrograde, what it means is burning the opposite way. So basically retrograde is just the opposite direction. Sorry I didn't explain that before. So on the left hand side you have all these markers. You've got prograde, retrograde, normal, anti-normal, radial, and non-radial. Those all stand for direction. So there we go. We're doing a big retrograde burn. So that means the opposite way. Killing speed. Right till we will. There we go. Right into the atmosphere. Because I know the atmosphere is 70,000 meters. So 40,000 meters will be well within. We're gonna get some friction. It's gonna get hot. Coming back. And there it is. Back home. We will probably do a time warp, but there you go. Mission almost accomplished. So there you go. The fuel adds up, the rocket design adds up, and you can do it right in Kerbal. So there you go. This is my tribute to the Apollo 11. And unfortunately I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys the landing, but there you have it. Thanks guys.